Good morning, everyone. I'm going to do a quick walkthrough of how I design a particular character for the strip. It's going to take me just a few minutes, so let's get started. So I have a gag here that I've plotted out for the 4 panels. In the second and fourth panel is going to be a character who will be a teacher for the students, but I want to portray this teacher as someone who's nervous, out of his element. The whole joke is about the class has got a different type of class structure that he's not used to. He'll be replaced by a different teacher in the coming weeks. So he's kind of almost a throwaway character, but it's a nervous teacher. I'm designing a nervous teacher for a gag. So let's get started. As I talk about designing characters, I try to keep this shape something that I know that I can repeat easily without getting too confused, and it doesn't mix in too close to previous characters. Now the father's head, I've kind of done this with the father's head. I've made that shape and said, okay, I'm going to be able to quickly read that that's the father just by those 4 lines. I should probably draw this a little bit darker so you can see it. All right, the father's head's got this long rectangle. So I don't know that the teacher will ever come in contact with the father. It's probably never going to happen where I'll have to worry about them being confused. But at the same time, I'm trying to keep it fresh. I don't want to have to repeat this. I don't want to do too many repeats characters, and I want to stretch my style a little bit. So I'm going to do away with that. That's not what we're going to do. We're going to find a different shape that I feel like I can use and repeat often enough. So I'm probably going to try, now I think teacher, I do still think elongated, so maybe I'll even go thinner still. Problem with too tall and thin is the head will kind of rise up high enough. As I plotted out that panel, the panel looks like this. I'm going to see the back of the kids' heads. I'm doing it in small scale now, right? So if the frame is going to look like this, I'll see the back of the 2 kids' heads, and the teacher's going to be here. If I draw the head too long, I'm going to get into the space where the words will happen. Can you see all that? One kid here, Wyatt here, Liz here, teacher here, top of the panel there. I don't want to get it so tall that head interrupts the words. So that's why I'm kind of staying away right now from long and tall. I could do short and fat, although I kind of think I want to leave that short and fat teacher motif. Well, you know what? Let's try to see what happens if I start doing it. So let's do. I'm gonna kind of cube the head, long and wide, which actually kind of mimics Wyatt a little bit. Wyatt, I have the eyes. If this is Wyatt's chin, I have the eyes down low. So for the teacher, I'd put the eyes a little bit higher. Let's see what happens when I do this. Well, how about if I'm going to do big guy, I'll probably not draw the chin line, the jawline, and instead just draw a hint of a chin and a nice wide neck. Now I've been putting the ears down low for this style. I feel like the ears don't do a whole bunch for expressions. For animals, the ears help to do expressions, but for people, ears don't do a whole bunch. So I've made them small on purpose and kind of down to the side. So I'm going to keep with that. I could do, all right, let's do a big bulbous nose. Because if he's a big guy, probably has a big nose as well. It just always kind of lends to it. Let's draw, now he's going to be nervous, so his mouth is going to be kind of small. Nervous, for me, the eyes tend to swoop up like this. You can see that's a little more exaggerated, but that would be where the direction of the eyes. So if I'm going to do a nervous guy, the eyes are going to kind of do this type of thing, heading up in that direction. And then the pupil's really small. I've already got, most of my male characters have big, thick eyebrows. What happens if I just make his pencil thin? Again, just trying to look for some variety, so it doesn't look like I'm drawing the same character over and over and over again. There we go. And then I'm going to give him, now this guy's, I'm portraying him as a teacher who's been around for a little while. Therefore, he's not going to have a full tuft of hair. If he just has the hints of a comb over, something like that, and let's kind of round off that squared block head. Put some worry lines down here underneath the eyes. And we're talking about this kind of shape. Kind of like that. Now, let's make his body a bit of a pear. Right? We'll come down and make his body this kind of shape here, with smaller legs. Kind of knock-kneed. Draw a center line so I can find out. And when I do the character sketches, character concept, I do tend to shoot straight on, which sometimes it helps to instead find a pose that I feel like it's going to hit the mood. If this guy's nervous, I should try to find a pose that more suits a nervous pose. Maybe hand wringing in the front. Right, this is going to be both of his hands together, elbows up high, as if he's wringing his hands. Forearm. Just put him in a teacher type button down, short sleeve shirt. Probably have the shirt's tail tucked out in the front on one side. Those legs are probably too thin for a guy of this size, so I'll do this and make them nice and chunky. Alright, I think I've got the start of something. Don't think his face has enough character, even with the bulbousy chin. What would happen if I gave him a goatee? No, I'll lose that little tiny mouth and a goatee. Mutton chops, maybe? Used to have a math teacher who had big mutton chops. Yeah, let's try sideburns. And then in that way make his hairline receding, but not completely bald. I think I can work with that. Alright, let me bring the pens out, and I'll fuss with that a little bit in fast motion and see how that turns out. Alright, that looks like the good first pencils. Some things that I caught myself doing while I was drawing. Darkened the corners of the eyes right here, right, to kind of make it look like sleepless and even add to the nervousness. Kind of gave him a Karl Malden kind of bump, indented nose. Thought that might add some more to the character. And then the corners of the hair and the comb over coming down to his face, all to show that he's a little disheveled. I mean, add to the disheveled corner down here. And hairy arms, for some reason, just seem to make sense, and I'll add to that. Give that a second to dry off, and then I'll erase and give it a second pass of inks. Alright, let's kick it back into fast motion. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, I think I'm pretty happy with that as a start. I'm going to grab the markers. Now, for me, when I concept a character, I do like to do a marker pass. It helps me visualize the depth of the character. So I'm going to go ahead and do up the markers and see how that looks, and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm going to call it done. Here we go. Pretty happy with the guy, as it turns out. Nicely nervous, and that bit of tension I add a lot more hair. Thought that was very important for him to have those big hairy arms. Stubble too. Put stubble on his face. Just felt like that would help us a little bit. So that's how I go about designing a character for the strip, and trying to take personality, spacing, all those things into account as I figure out how I'm going to do them. Hope you enjoyed. Hope that was helpful. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. That also helps apparently bump it up. There are plenty of ways to reach me if you feel like you want to ask me some questions or pass along some hints that maybe I don't take into account. You think that might help me out. I'd be happy to hear from you. My email is the same name as the channel, @gmail.com. All right. Cheers. Thanks, everybody.